Now, the dilemma over the attempt to prosecute the immediate past Governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, is putting the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission under the spotlight. But the EFCC Chairman, Ola Olukoyede, has vowed to pursue it to a logical conclusion. Olukoyede vowed to resign as EFCC Chairman if the embattled former Governor of Kogi State is not prosecuted. He also vowed that those who obstructed the arrest of Bello will be brought to justice. Meanwhile, the Anti-graft agency has arrested the immediate past Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, over alleged 8.06 billion naira fraud. The EFCC has also slammed a new 4-count charge on former Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and the fresh charges border on alleged approval of printing 684 million naira at the rate of 18.96 billion naira. BKO, there are 3 issues here to look at. But let me start with Emefiele. I don't know, because it's like that story has gotten a lot of attention, and seeing new counts coming out, one is wondering how much more are we likely to see? Ever since he was arrested, since last year, June, so much has been unraveled, so much has been found. What do you make of what's happening?
Yes, we just want the trial to proceed at a good pace so that justice can be served. A lot of unsavory things happened during his time as CBN governor, and if you permitted terrible things to happen as a public officer, by the time you leave office, the spotlight will be on you, and you will be made to account for a lot of what happened. I know that I didn't do these things alone.
Yeah.
But it's impossible to put everybody on trial. I've seen some people in the CBN dismissed, some directors, top directors, they are being dismissed. It means they are not good for the health of the system. So it makes sense. Just serve some form of justice to people. Let them realize that the reward for wrongdoing is punishment. Punishment within the ambit of the law. That is what is being done. Emefiele, I guess at this stage, they are just charging him with all kinds of crimes just to ensure that if he escapes this one, he does not escape the other one. He got an injunction against the DSS to not try him for terrorism charges. That injunction still stays. You will see that in all of these charges, no one has mentioned terrorism. And that was the first charge back then, even when he was a sitting CBN governor.
Yeah.
That's the power of the law. The DSS must have felt bad that they got that injunction, but that injunction has not been set aside. They've simply moved on to, yes, the DSS handed this matter over to the EFCC, and the EFCC are coming up with fresh charges. The man who investigated his error uncovered a lot of things. Before our eyes, we discovered that CBN paid 6.2 million to election observers. How do you justify that? And the people behind that, they fled. But as a leader, you have to be switched on. There are people around you who want to exploit any loophole, any chink in your armor. But you have to be switched on, ensure that, look, such things do not happen. And how in the world do you explain printing 684,000 naira?
Million naira.
Million naira. And 590,000. 684,590,000, printing it at 18.96 billion. How do you justify that? You know, so questions have to be answered. Maybe this is the new way of doing things. So we have to benchmark what he has done against global best practices to know whether he has done nothing wrong. But in my eyes, my eyes are not the eyes of the law. In my own eyes, this is shocking. This is inexcusable.
Right.
You can't explain what has happened. As for the matter of Fayose,
Hadi Sirika.
no.
Yahaya Bello.
Yahaya Bello.
Okay.
As I said on this program late last week, I'll be happy to see him face trial. And I'm repeating it. I want to see him face trial. So that questions, so that just, hold on.
Okay.
So that we can actually discover what happened. Maybe in the course of the trial, we will even discover more facts. What I've said is that the EFCC should stop their needless drama.
Absolutely.
Focus on the ball. That is not what they are doing. Like the press conference of yesterday was utterly needless. You can see what lawyers are saying. And you have a man charged to court. You are coming to address people on the substance of the matter. What is the meaning of that? Focus on having him. Before London Metropolitan Police jailed James Ibori, jailed his girlfriend, jailed his wife, jailed his lawyer, jailed his friend, did they call a press conference to be announcing the substance of the I mean, this is not how to do these things. Nigerians, they are funny people. They got to where I criticized the approach of the EFCC. That is what they are circulating all over the place. Where I was saying that I would be happy to see him put on trial, they didn't cut that part. They made up their minds that this is Jide's person. He promoted his, and he promoted more than 300 traditional rulers. How come it's my dad you are talking about? How many of the people who are first-class kings in Kogi are more qualified than my dad? Even some of the people in government house, some of the people, my dad trained them. Like the DG government house, it was my dad's student. You ignore the truth that I said. I compared him to Fayose, that Fayose, when he was faced with this situation, he went there. But I also made the point that they did not serve him a letter. They did not serve him a letter of invitation because they knew he had a restraining order. Without restraining order, if you served him a letter of invitation, it is contempt. You understand? So they knew what they were doing. That's the point that I made. Nigerians, their own version of the truth is what they're interested in. You can try to, and they don't want you to be balanced. But it's against our training as real journalists. I know that the landscape is populated now by people with no training. They don't know how to filter a story. They don't know anything about journalism, but all of them are calling themselves journalists. We can't discard the training that we got because we think Nigerians will abuse us. People tell me sometimes, Ajide, I don't say that. They will come for you. So what? Is it today they've been coming for me? People will come for me, but I have to stay true to the training.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say I was trained by some of the best journalists in the history of our country. So why will I not try to balance a story? That side, when you try to balance, that side they don't want to hear. The side that aligns with their own thoughts, with their own thinking, is what they want to see you talk about. They don't want you to attempt balance. Now, no man by nature, even Mahatma Gandhi said that is perfect. If the EFCC showed him perfection, I have a right to say it. I have many friends there. I have the right to say, look, in what you have done, you made a mistake here. This is what you should have done. And some of what we told them, they are beginning to do it. They are now going before the law courts. You say, okay, let's find a way. So it's not, the EFCC chairman does not have to tell us he wants to resign because there's no reason to resign.
Why is it
You are doing well. You came, you are telling us that, oh, you've achieved this, you've achieved that. Why are you talking about resigning? Does Tinubu look like somebody who will tell you not to put Yahaya Bello on trial? Why are you saying that if he doesn't go on trial, who says he will not go on trial? Why have you come to a conclusion that he may not go on trial? Did the president tell you by his body language, don't put him on trial? No. And there will be a lot of surprises that people will see. Because where they will expect that this president will step in and say, don't try, it will not happen. God will spare our lives, we'll see. So, Mr. EFCC Chairman, you are going nowhere. You are not resigning. Focus on the job. Don't tell us that you want to resign. As far as we are concerned, you may have made mistakes here and there, but you are doing a good job.
Right.
So don't tell us that you want to resign. We need you to do the job. We are tired of EFCC losing cases, especially against politically explosive. Akpobolo came here of Nemasa. They just lost. After more than 7 years. Adoke, they lost that one earlier. Akpobolo came in.
They just lost of Nemasa.
Yes, they just lost again. And we must not say that their processes are wrong. We will talk. We will talk.
Which is true.
It's true. But let's look at the issue that the former aviation minister was also, slammed with charges by the EFCC over 8.6 billion naira fraud. What do you make of this, and what do you see this leading to?
Yeah, if you look at the way the EFCC has outlined it, you just expect that it will be a straight, cut out, a straight case. I mean, where they talked about his brother is having civil servant, how he got contracts, how he allegedly got contracts for so and so and so, and the money was distributed to people who didn't even do anything. But the fact that he's a civil servant is against the laws and all of that. But I think on that score, one portion should have been taken to the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The way you're handling Emefiele's case should also handle it. They should also apply that to other such people standing trial. Because I know, for instance, that one of the things ICPC talked about that they have been doing, and which they did in the case of one civil servant, was that they first of all removed the calculated tax on that money and removed it. Okay. Remitted it to government. So if there, when you have such cases, you can also take such people to tax tribunal. Because one, they deprive government of revenue from tax revenue. Government gave money, government approved money for contracts through a minister. And then that money, when it was to be distributed to contractors, they were expected to, pay withholding tax, pay VAT and other taxes. But now you have deprived government of that. Take the person to the tax tribunal. Let the person face charges for that, denying government of revenue. Because it's a very, very serious offense in many countries. It's just that we joke with some of these things in this country. If you charge them with tax fraud, they definitely can't escape on that. Right. But you just find out that you just charge them with money laundering. And they can now veer left, right, and somehow or the other, due to lack of diligent prosecution, as the courts usually, I've said in many cases, the government, the anti-graft agencies lose these cases. So they must broaden their prosecutorial, actions. Yes, right. Such that it will be difficult for politically exposed persons to escape. You don't just look at Emefiele. 3 different courts now. After the DSS are charged him for allegedly owning a weapon for this, then you now brought him here for this. For allegedly printing naira and so and so and so and so. He's going to also give his own defense, which is not, and government is spending a lot of money. I think they should just zero in on the heart of the matter and deal with this thing so that this matter.
So it will be treated.
Yeah, so that it can be treated. Yes, can be prosecuted expeditiously.
Right.
Otherwise, you might get to a point whereby you just, years after you marshaled out your points, it will just pick 1, 2, 3 things. First of all, tell you that he wasn't acting alone, that he had the president, he was reporting to, so you must bring him here to give evidence. That becomes, that might now bring a kind of a conundrum, political conundrum. So I think they should just harmonize these things. Instead of taking for
Harmonize it.
No one is even sure that's the last.
That is it. So, but when you continue, the man, what you're doing is that, yes, you may be psychologically, in a way, you may be said that
they are weakening
psychologically. But you know what? Lawyers are not just, they don't just wear their wig and gown for decoration.
Sure.
They will surely be waiting for you where they will get you and rescue the man. We've seen people who went on, trial from here and there, and, round and round. At the end of the day, what happened? They were freed.
Yeah.
And they just
so then if you can go before the court to say you didn't have enough evidence,
yes,
as they said in open court in Adoke's matter,
yes,
what do you expect the judge to do? You know, what strikes me is when the EFCC gives us the impression that they have a cast iron case against someone, and that person then tells the judge that, look, I'm going to move a no case submission. When the lawyer to an accused person begins to think about no case submission, he thinks that there is no merit.
There's no merit in your case.
So, and we've seen repeatedly, when that happens, they lose. Because Adoke moved a no case submission.
Yeah.
Oronsai moved no case submission. On both occasions, the judges found their no case submission to be of merit. And that's the end. The rate of loss in cases involving politically exposed persons is scandalous. It's something we can talk about. You can't deny that with politically exposed persons, you have a bad record.
Look at even that of look at even that of Yahaya Bello.
Very quickly about it, just 10 seconds.
Look at that of Yahaya Bello. The man said he had a court order, and then the next thing he said he said the matter before the appeal court. The appeal court was to rule on the 22nd. Then you still went ahead to file a case. Now the EFCC has withdrawn the appeal, saying that it filed it out of time. So when you go forward and backward, they should follow the process of the law.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, let's